It's a tale as old as time, like a hit TV show which sucks in the first few seasons but then bursts into life, or an album that needs a few listens before you can truly appreciate it. Sometimes you need to stick with something for it to get good, and this is also true of video games. This can be tricky to navigate though, as unlike most albums and TV shows, you'll need to play a game for a lot longer before you can decide whether it's good or a flop, and quite frankly, time is precious. So with that in mind, I want to ease your burdens and highlight some indie games that I know firsthand don't grab the player immediately, but if you stick with them, they may just become one of your all-time favourites. So without further delay, here is Indie Game Culture's list of slow burn indies that get good if you stick with them. In at number 1 we have Citizen Sleeper. We begin with the Android CRPG smash hit Citizen Sleeper, a game that I heard rave reviews about for so long before I actually got around to playing it, but when I hopped into the game I found myself wondering what all the hype was about. The setting, the concept and the writing were all strong from the start, but due to the intricate systems and the rather slow and plodding start, I found myself asking, is this it? However, if you give the game enough time to unfold all of its meticulously crafted layers and slowly reveal more and more of the world around you, you soon realise that this slow start to learn systems and gain a sense of place is absolutely necessary, and before long, you'll be faced with lots of impossible decisions, meet many colourful characters, and explore the expansive station known as the Eye. Citizen Sleeper is a game that literally in its first hour threatens to send you to sleep, but stick with it because it's really worth giving your full attention. In at number 2 we have Pathologic II. Here I am going to the Pathologic II well again, but in my defense, if there is a list that this game belongs on, it's definitely this one. Pathologic II, in a nutshell, is a very demanding and ruthlessly brutal plague simulator where you need to try and save the town from impending doom by helping those around you, making a series of tough decisions against the clock, and battle against obtuse and cumbersome mechanics as you do. It's a game that wants you to suffer, and because of this, I wouldn't hold it against anyone who played this for a short period and decided that the game is punishing and simply not fun. But if you get past the not fun part and embrace the gritty survival angle, you'll find a hidden gem in Pathologic II. It has a wonderful, twisted theatrical narrative, deep, nuanced, challenging survival systems, and a world that may be uninviting, but you can't deny it is bloody interesting. It's not going to be for everyone, but it's one that deserves to be given a chance. In at number 3 we have Nade. Nade is a game that flips the script on roguelikes to an extent because in most cases dying in a roguelike will only make you stronger and allow you to level up your abilities. However, in Nade, the only thing you really gain from each outing is knowledge and understanding of the game's systems. And because these systems are quite obtuse, varied and hard to grasp, some players will immediately bounce off this game. But we're here to tell you that if you give this one the time and respect it deserves, it will be an instant favourite for all you roguelike lovers. The key to enjoying Nade is to accept that you're going to die a lot. You'll need to take the time to learn how the world works, understand enemy behaviours, manage your health super carefully, and experiment with wands. Then before you know it, you'll be clearing the opening area without any issues whatsoever. It's a much less palatable roguelike compared to something like Hades or Dead Cells for example, but if given a chance, Nade will show you that it has just as much quality as these games, or maybe even just a little bit more. In at number 4 we have Outward. There are a lot of things that would make someone want to play Outward from the outside looking in, because it essentially looks like an open world game with the scope of an Elder Scrolls game mixed with the challenging combat of a Dark Souls game. However, despite this incredible pitch to get players interested, plenty of people have picked this up and quickly stopped playing this cult classic. You could argue that players don't take to this game because the combat isn't quite as refined as a Souls game, and you could also argue that there aren't a lot of tutorials, quests, or hand-holding from the developer to help players hit the ground running, but I think the thing that alienates players most is the barren and empty world. In its defense, Outward has a beautiful world and plenty of landmarks and encounters within it, but traversing to and from these high points takes a long time. There is a lot of preparation that goes into each standout event, and generally speaking, the game is a bit of a slog. Basically, the game often feels like it shoots for realism and shoots itself in the foot by doing so. However, this doesn't make the game bad, it's just an acquired taste. For that reason, I would urge you to take a partner along and play this co-op title, because it hasn't earned the label of open world Dark Souls for couples for no reason. It's worth a shot, so give it a try. In at number 5 we have Hollow Knight. Okay, so this entry doesn't actually represent my personal opinion, but I feel I have to represent the overall consensus of the Hollow Knight community here. You see, I recently made a post in the Hollow Knight subreddit praising how the game hooks the player immediately, and some people agreed with this opinion, but a lot of people felt differently. Many people see the opening of Hollow Knight as the weakest part of the entire game, and this is probably due to the lack of player guidance, the minimal tutorials and HUD, the lack of conventional quests, and the fact that the Forgotten Roads is easily the least interesting area in the game, at least until it becomes infected. But if you stick with this game until Green Path, I assure you that by that point you'll be hooked, as this is easily one of, if not the best, Metroidvania titles ever made. In at number 6 we have Kingdom Come Deliverance. Next up we have the Slavic open world RPG Kingdom Come Deliverance, a game that through its unrelenting desire to remain historically accurate and realistic has managed to lose more than a few of its new players within the opening hours of the game. It's easy to see why this is, and it can be explained by comparing to a traditional RPG. You see, in most games of this nature, right from the off, you are a skilled fighter, have lots of skills and abilities, and can perform superhuman tasks that no normal person would dream of. Well, in Kingdom Come Deliverance, you will need to work for every little win. You play as a peasant with no standout skills, no fame or riches, and no skills in combat. This means that every encounter is a risk, and all little wins are earned. It's basically a more true-to-life RPG trajectory, and it means that your ascension from zero to hero means more and feels much more rewarding. It can be a drag in the beginning, but that makes the end game all the more special. In at number 7 we have Ider Wilds. I'm always wary when including Ider Wilds in lists of this nature, as I never want to give anything away, as every moment in this game is a moment to savour, but equally it's a game that you have to completely submit to and immerse yourself fully in if you want the best experience possible. In Ider Wilds, you don't have any quests beyond your main goal of breaking the time loop that you are trapped in, and you'll have a gameplay loop that isn't governed by stats, rewards, or traditional progression. Your reward from each loop is knowledge and understanding of the world around you, and if you can't get a kick out of that early on, you might not immediately click with this game. However, with each new planet you explore, with each new crumb of lore you absorb, and from each new and profound discovery, you'll slowly fall in love with the pocket solar system around you. You'll become obsessed with solving the puzzle it represents, and when it's all over, you'll wish you could wipe your memory and do it all again. It's a slow burn, and it demands that you play in a way that most modern games are too scared to ask players to do, but I promise, giving yourself to this experience fully is one of the best decisions that you can ever make. And in at number 8 we have Don't Starve. Then lastly we have a game that I have personally tried to love many times, and I still find myself in the camp of, I just can't get into this game. Don't Starve, despite my hang-ups, is clearly a very competent and well-made survival game with a stunning art style and a dedicated fan base. However, the hang-up that most players will have about this game is that it is so damn obtuse. Honestly, I don't know how anyone could play this game and succeed without a guide open at all times. It's a punishing game that does nothing to really help the player succeed, and only those that are willing to learn the ins and outs of this game will thrive. But as I said, millions of Don't Starve fans can't be wrong. The game is a standout survival game for a reason, so even if I can't find a way to get into this one, it doesn't mean that it doesn't deserve a chance. So there you have it guys, that is my list of 8 indie games that may not seem like they are all that fun to hop into, but if you give them a fair shake, we promise you that you will come out the other end with a new favourite indie game. Let us know if we missed any other slow burns, let us know if you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff to help us out in the algorithm, and until next time, I've been Cal, and I'll see you then.